No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Good afternoon, Bronco fans, and welcome to the Thomas and Mack Center here in Las Vegas as we get you set for Championship Saturday here at the Mountain West Tournament. BJ Rains with you. We are excited to be here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show where the Broncos will try to win a Mountain West Championship today and lock up that automatic spot in the NCAA tournament. My name is BJ Rains. We welcome you in. We're going to have all kinds of fun guests and folks stop by. Abe Jackson is going to join us. Cannot wait to have him join us. We're going to have our man Justin Michael that covers Colorado State for DNVR. There is some news with Colorado State already today. Niko Medved potentially on the move to Minnesota, his alma mater. There is a report out there that Niko Medved set to become the next head coach at, and I'm not sure why this isn't working here. I apologize for that. It's frozen on me. I'm not sure if it's moving for you, but there's the trophy. There is the trophy that Boise State is going to try to win today. Championship Saturday here in the Mountain West Tournament. Boise State, the trophy is in the house. One of the two teams will be raising this trophy here in a little bit inside the Thomas and Mack Center. We want your score predictions. We want your thoughts. We got our man Jaden Finch out there waiting for Boise State's team bus to arrive, so we'll get some videos of the Broncos showing up here at the arena. For those watching on TV, even if you're in the building, this will be a little interesting because they have switched the benches today. I'll show you a live look here and kind of pan around the arena as fans are just starting to come in, but Boise State is going to be on the bench across from us right here, and that is notable because the fans for Boise State have their seats in the opposite corner. So unless those seats moved, you're going to have all of Boise State's fans literally right behind the Colorado State bench. So not sure if the seating arrangement is changing for today or what, but very unique and interesting despite being the lower seed again, they have switched Boise State and Colorado State to opposite sides, opposite benches here today. Yes, I am ready. And no, we are not. We were not at the buffet line. We were not at the craps table. I saw some of you because we were a couple of minutes late. No, we got here and ready to go. And then, like I said, they switched the benches on us, so we're had to move the equipment real quick down to the other side. But excited to be here tonight. Going to be a quick turnaround. We got the post game show, and we're flying back tonight. Boise State, the Broncos also on the Southwest flight tonight, so that could be a fun trip back tonight if Boise State is able to get the win tonight. But a lot on the line. Boise State, Colorado State. You look at a lot of the metrics, folks, and it sounds like Boise State probably needs to get this win tonight to get into the NCAA tournament. You don't want to leave it to chance. Don't want to leave it to chance. And obviously, the committee, who knows what they're going to do. There are 5 new members on the committee this year, but I think if you're Boise State, you want to go ahead and just win it, leave no doubt, and clinch that automatic spot and not have to go to Dayton either. That certainly would be nice to not have to go to Dayton this year and win this game and know tomorrow that you can kind of kick your feet back up and be in the tournament. So Boise State will look to win their second Mountain West tournament in the last 4 years. And I've got so many bookmark tweets ready to go for the postgame show and for the flight home tonight, beverage in hand, and I'm just going to be trolling. And if you said anything bad about Boise State in the last month or so, we may be ready to go back and take a look at some of those, if you know what I mean. We're going to no doubt about it. Let's get it. Let's see what we got here. Watching from Minnesota, where I reside, we do have some news that we'll get to with that here in just a second. 73-67. Chad's got 67-64 is his prediction. Don May hoping Neek cools off a little bit. And, yeah, after the 36 points that he had in Boise last week, that's one of the big storylines in this game. Colorado State playing as well as anybody. You look at the metrics in Colorado State right now, one of the top teams in the country over the last month or so. And our man, Justin Michael, does a tremendous job covering Colorado State for DNVR. He's also an alum of Colorado State, so knows this program very well. And appreciate you, sir, for jumping on. And this is fun, man. It's why you get into this business, to cover big games like this, championship on the line. We were both over there taking photos of the trophy, and one of these two teams is going to hoist it up here in a couple hours.
Yeah, man, this is always one of my favorite events. The 8th time I've been fortunate to come out, back to when I was doing student media, years ago. And these are 2 really good teams. This is what you hope for, right? Like 2 teams that are playing well at this stage, a lot on the line. Like, this is why we watch college basketball.
Tell us from the Colorado State perspective, man, why has it flipped for them? I mean, it hasn't really flipped. They've been playing great all year, but just the last month or so, some of the metrics, certainly you kind of go back. I mean, Boise State, same kind of time frame, back to that kind of rock bottom moment for Boise State when they played back at Moby Arena. But this last 3-4 week stretch here, they're playing as good as anybody in the country. What's kind of been the key for them?
Yeah, I mean, they had some struggles with their rotation early. They kind of had to iron out some roles. Guys have elevated, which is a big deal. Kyan Evans has really made a pretty big leap as this season has progressed, has turned into one of the better players in the league. I thought he deserved all conference recognition. But obviously, like, Neek has just been on a tear over these last 10 games. He's basically averaging like 22 and 10 and 5 assists on top of that. He's such a tough cover. And with the way that the Rams have defended this year, when they have that many options firing offensively, it makes them a pretty tough cover. They tend to wear teams down.
Well, Neek Clifford, 36 points that game in Boise. I mean, Boise State fans saw firsthand. But, I mean, this is a guy that's got a good chance to be a first-round NBA draft pick, and he came back last year. That's still your top pinned tweet on your Twitter account, that Neek Clifford is withdrawn from the draft and is coming back to Colorado State, and he's been playing at an unbelievable level and had another big night again last night.
Yeah, he's been everything they've hoped for and then some. Like, when he came over from Colorado a couple of years ago, you knew that he was a highly athletic guy. The defense was going to translate. He's a great rebounder. He could rim run and all that type of stuff. But I think just playing alongside Isaiah Stevens and kind of soaking up some of what he had to offer in terms of the way you approach the game, the way you approach life. Like, he's just matured so much these last couple of years. And, as you said, he's got a pretty good chance to be a first-round pick in the NBA draft. I'd be surprised at this point if he wasn't, just given how strong he's closing the season and all those other things I just talked about. But he's been a really cool story, like to come from a in-state rival, a guy that they recruited hard coming out of high school and weren't able to sign, didn't really work out for him there. And now to have it come full circle and for him to be in the player of the year conversation with people like Dent and Degenhart, who've been incredible players these last couple of years. It's just been a lot of fun. Like, honestly, I've had as much fun covering this team this year and their kind of rise as anything that I can remember in previous years.
Yeah, I frustrated some New Mexico fans during that game in Boise. I said the coach of the year and player of the year, race might have been decided tonight. And I ended up going with Dent, but I did go Nico Medved for coach of the year on my ballot. But it was, both coach, player of the year were coin flips. And I'm sure, if Colorado State wins tonight that, that'll be a little bit of justice, I guess, for the folks that thought that, Nick Clifford should have been player of the year. But obviously a lot of good players in this league. But, I mean, the job Nico Medved has done, which brings me to my next topic. There was a report out there. I saw you retweeted it. Nico Medved potentially on the move to his alma mater, Minnesota. Tell us what you know, what you read, and what's going on with Nico Medved.
Yeah, it's something that has been in the back of the minds of CSU fans essentially since the day he took the job. Like, it's his alma mater, so everybody always kind of had one eye on it. A couple years ago, based on everything that I'd heard, it came down to Nico or Ben Johnson. They went with Ben Johnson, another hometown guy. Nico has obviously continued to have great success at CSU. As far as like whether it's official, as that report out of Minnesota states, I can't confirm that as of now. I mean, they're doing a good job of keeping things tight.
But there is a local report.
There is a local report, out of Minneapolis stating that a deal is done behind the scenes, that Medved will be the next coach. There was a rumor that came out like from the CSU donors a couple weeks ago that it was a done deal too. So, I mean, it's something that has definitely been circulating for a while now. Would not be surprising at all if it were to happen, though. I think there's probably a pretty good chance that Ali Farokmanesh gets the gig based on everything I've heard these last couple of years. They've had this secession plan in place. Nico was in the mix for Oklahoma State last year. Some other gigs, they thought, he might move on then. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it would be nice to have a selection Sunday without so much chaos.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, we're two, when this came out 2 or 3 hours from the championship game starting, and you see that this report, then you see that Kevin Kruger has been let go by UNLV. So some Mountain West coaching news here. But Nico Medved, I mean, he's done a tremendous job. As he said, I think some people always assumed at some point he would kind of go for a bigger job. And if it's his alma mater, I mean, it makes a lot of sense at this point. We'll wait and see. But what can you say about the job he's done this year? I mean, losing Isaiah Stevens, losing some of the guys they have. We had Coach Medved on our show a week or so ago before that game in Boise, and I went back and looked at my Lindy's Magazine preview, and I said something about hard to not see them taking a step back with all they lost from last year's team. And yet you look up and they get the 2 seed, and here they are playing in the championship game. I mean, Nico Medved did a tremendous job this year.
Yeah, I mean, you voting for him for coach of the year, I'm right there with you. I think in principle, it's hard for me to argue, especially as a CSU guy. It's going to come off as a homer. Like, it's hard for me to sit there and say the Rams were wronged when they got swept by New Mexico. That you could make an argument that in theory they got outcoached, outplayed. But I just don't think anybody did more with less, and nobody reached a ceiling as high, like compared to where they were expected in the preseason as CSU. And if you look at where this team was, they lost 4 of the top 6 leading scorers from a year ago, the program's all-time best player in Isaiah Stevens, and to be sitting here with a chance to be an at-large bid and having won 16 Mountain West games, like I think it's been incredible. This team looked like they might struggle to go win 16 games all year, let alone 16 games in the Mountain West.
So how do teams that have had, I mean, it's been very little. We go back to Nick Clifford for a second and kind of this game plan today. Boise State obviously couldn't stop him, 36 points. Mm-hmm. Andrew Meadow was the primary guy on him one-on-one. That they tried some other things. It didn't really work out. Have you seen any teams do anything at all that has ever worked to try to slow him down? And what do you think after the 36 against Boise State last time that Boise State might try to do today?
Yeah, there've been some times, especially when the jump shot is not falling and teams are being extra aggressive and physical with him defensively, where he's pressed some things and kind of shown some frustration, driven into traffic, had some turnovers and stuff like that. Didn't play particularly well against New Mexico and Albuquerque or, CU, his old school. And to me, it kind of seemed like situations where he maybe just wanted it a little bit too much, like going back to his old school. And then New Mexico, he's playing against his high school teammate. But his shot making is just really tough. Like, he makes NBA baskets pretty regularly. Baseline fadeaway. That's money for him. Some of these runners, and with his length and his athleticism, he's just a tough assignment. Like, he typically is going to get his, I guess is what I would say at this stage of the season.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly been getting them of late. And that's going to be a big key for Boise State to try to slow him down. How do you kind of look at this matchup? You know both teams very well. Watched a lot of Boise State as well. How do you kind of just, CSU's gotten them both times. Boise State fans are going, well, San Diego State had gotten them both times regular season as well, and Boise State got them back. I mean, these are two of the hottest teams in the league right now meeting in the championship. What is just your take on this matchup?
It's two teams that know each other really well. I mean, two coaches that are great, and just it's hard to beat a team in this league three times, even a lesser team, like Nevada this year, who had some talent, obviously. Like, you go into that matchup if you're CSU, and it's like, man, like, can we really do this a third time? Boise State's even tougher. I think Boise, when they're at their best, you're getting post touches for Degenhart, especially like when you look back at the last couple of years, he's really given the Rams fits. And Neek going for 36 was a massive factor in that game in Boise, but I thought holding Degenhart to 6 field goal attempts was a bigger factor.
Yeah.
I am interested to see kind of what happens there. Does he get rolling? And then, can you limit some of these other guys that have really come up big? Andrew Meadow has been a thorn in CSU side multiple times, came up really big in that game yesterday. Some of the younger guys, I think the biggest factor, though, is the stars to me. Like, who is able to carry their team? Does Neek do what he has done over these last 10 games? Then I feel pretty good about CSU pulling this out. But if Degenhart goes for 30 or something, like, you could be in a really wonky spot, especially if Meadow is stretching the floor and hitting shots from the outside, because you guys just have such great physicality in the post.
Well, it's going to be an exciting game. Looking forward to it. Exciting matchup, and I think from a Mountain West perspective, the two, probably this scenario, if there was any scenario, probably not of 5 bids, but at least of getting 4. Yeah. I think this was the way to do it, because the winner's in, and I think Colorado State certainly is out with a loss. I mean, Boise State probably out with a loss too. It's hard to remember a situation like this in this league in a long time here, where either team knows they probably have to win this game to get in. It's going to make that even more exciting.
Like I said, I mean, it's everything you could kind of ask for in terms of the drama and the intrigue and all that, and just high quality basketball teams. Like, there's nothing fluky about CSU or Boise State being in this championship. These are two teams that over the last 4-6 weeks have been playing really good basketball. And I know the Rams got them in Boise, but I expect a really tight game.
Well, I can't wait. Excited about it here in just a little over an hour. Justin Michael, do a tremendous job, man.
Thanks, man.
Where can they follow you on Twitter and kind of see your work, man?
Yeah, you can follow me at Justin T. Michael or DNVR_Rams. Appreciate you. Try and talk about Mountain West, Pac-12, all that fun stuff. And, you do great work as well, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you. And I know you're a big Circa fan, too. So you're good in my book, man.
Big time Circa fan.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Appreciate it. All right, should be fun. We appreciate our man Justin for popping on for a few minutes. Boise State scheduled to arrive any minute here today. Any minute here momentarily for this game here today. Game is about an hour and 15 minutes or so from tip-off. They don't let you take the floor until 57 minutes before tip-off, so no real urgency to get here a whole lot earlier than that. But Neek Clifford is the big storyline for me today. How do you find a way to slow Neek Clifford? How are you able to limit him? And what's his total? Is it 20? Is it 25? I mean, if you can keep him under 25, I mean, you probably feel pretty good, which is crazy to say. If you keep him under 20, you certainly feel good, but you obviously can't have him go for 36 again. Or if you're Boise State, you're probably in trouble in this one. But going to be a lot of fun, going to be exciting. Can't wait. We want to know where you're watching from. We want to know your score predictions. We got 212 of you watching right now on YouTube, 835 across all of our social media platforms. So we really appreciate you guys, and soak this in. Enjoy this. Your team is playing for a Mountain West championship here in a little over an hour, and it's got to be a pretty exciting, pretty cool feeling. And so just waking up today, even for someone that just covers the team, it was a really exciting, cool feeling to know you're going to cover a championship game tonight. I would say in the early going here, certainly Boise State has the edge. I would say it's probably 50-10. I mean, the fans are just starting to stream in here, but Boise State does have some fans. I'm not expecting a big crowd for this game. New Mexico losing did not help the crowd tonight. You may have a couple kind of New Mexico neutral fans, but after what we saw yesterday in terms of 10+ thousand people here pulling for New Mexico, it's going to be a 50-50 crowd. Boise State might even have a slight edge in the crowd today, but certainly it's going to be a much more neutral court than we saw yesterday. here in the conference tournament. I want to thank a few of our great sponsors who make this show possible. Abe Jackson going to join us here in a couple of minutes, but you're watching a free show here on YouTube. We'll show you live warm-ups as the teams take the floor here momentarily. And it's thanks to our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe and Company, rowpaint.com. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, make sure you hit up our title sponsor, Andy Rowe, and rowpaint.com. Taco Bell, tacobellworks.com. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Taco Bell Works, if you're looking for a great meal or if you're looking for a job, Taco Bell Works has you covered. TacoBellWorks.com is their website. You can check them out there. And again, the SN Management Group, the Nicolason family, we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. And the food is pretty darn good. Perfect day to go grab some Taco Bell and settle in for this championship game here. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there on your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And Jackson's, you get it tomorrow, but hopefully you get it on Monday as well. That $2 hot dog and fountain drink at Jackson's. If the Broncos can score 70 points, you get that coffee deal as well, 99-cent coffee. Anytime, day or night, using your Let's Go Rewards app. And we'll have the Jackson's postgame show coming up after the game. Going to be a quick turnaround because we are flying back after the game tonight, but we'll have a full postgame show. Hopefully a celebratory postgame show. Abe Jackson is
yes,
Abe joins us. You'll hear Abe and Bob coming up in about a half an hour over on 670 KBOI, the Bronco Radio Network, and Learfield joining us as he does on all of our pregame shows here. And Abe, been a crazy season, up and down, some turns, some twists, some great moments, some rock bottom moments, as it's been called by coaches and players, and yet here we are where the goal was when the season started, playing for a Mountain West championship and a spot in the big dance.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't really matter how you get there. Sometimes it does, though, when you look at the at-large bids. But the Broncos are where they wanted to be. This is where they talked about they wanted. This is what they've been preparing for, and they're a very hot team right now. 11 out of their last 13 wins games have been wins. But Colorado State also has won 9 games in a row. So, I mean, they're two of the hottest teams right now.
Oh, it's going to be super exciting. And last night, we got to go back there for a minute. I mean, I know you joined us on the post-game show, but what can you say, man? Just a back-and-forth game, second game in a row where they're trailing at the half. Some huge shots, so many different stars. You can point to Ugbo or the Andrew Meadows shot or Cardenas with the 12 assists. And then when you really needed a couple big buckets there, it was your guy Tyson Degenhart setting the school record with his 22 points. Just an effort that really embodied what this team is about. Just multiple guys stepping up with huge plays.
Yeah, and it's kind of the grunt work that got it done in both of the wins to get to this game, and offensive rebound and second chance points. I mean, the Broncos have not shot the ball well, and so they've gotten extra opportunities with those offensive boards and the second chance points, and they've just dominated that category in both of these games. And when it's a close game like that, I mean, that's something that you got to do.
And Tyson Degenhart, I mean, I feel like that was kind of lost in the whole thing yesterday with the huge win. But I mean, we knew it was coming, and then it kind of happened, and I feel like it happened kind of quietly. But, I mean, Tyson Degenhart now stands above everybody else in this program's history, passing Tanaka Beard for the all-time points leader. We've talked about it, but I just don't think it's getting the attention it deserves. What that means in this day and age, a 4-year player sticking around, and, I think that's going to be a hard record to go down anytime soon just because of the current era of college basketball. Yeah. But all the great players, I mean, you're top 10 in scoring yourself, all the great players in this program's history, and you know it well, for Tyson Degenhart to now have scored more points than anybody in the history of this program. It's pretty impressive.
It is. And, it really starts with Tyson as well, because I'm sure there were some probably pretty big money offers out there, especially after his junior year. And for him to stay and to do what he's doing, and to have a chance to go to 4 in a row and to maybe get that first NCAA win, it speaks a lot about Tyson and speaks a lot about what he thinks of this program and how this team has come together and how they built this roster this year has really started to just fall into place.
How much are they going to need guys again like Ugbo, some of these guys that, like we said, aren't maybe the star player. We mentioned yesterday needing production from the bench. Here comes Ugbo with 17 points. I mean, yeah, we'd gladly take 17 from him again today, but I mean, just it seems like the stars are going to be your stars, but a game like this, a championship game, could be decided by some of those other guys.
Yeah, some of the other guys, and maybe Buchanan will have a little bit of a breakout in this tournament. In this game, he struggled so far. He did tweak the ankle in that first game. Bowie gets in for a little bit, and he's struggled. I think maybe one of those guys who we haven't really talked about can have a couple big buckets in this game, but you do need your stars to be stars, though. And I'm going to throw Andrew Meadow in there as well now, since he's having such a great tournament. Cardenas, Degenhart, and Meadow. Your stars have to be stars, because if you look at the production from Colorado State's star, Nick Clifford, it is some of the best that, numbers that you can put together in the last 3 games.
Well, there's Boise State showing up. I'm not sure what's going on with our video here. It's not playing, but Boise State in the building tonight. Now you see a live look as the Broncos get ready to take the floor as well. Abe, Andrew Meadow, man, you're a shooter, obviously, and you made a lot of shots, but, you missed some shots too. And at times, what is it like as a shooter? Because he was 1 for 8, I think, or 1 for 7 before that final 3-pointer last night with a minute to go. What's it take for a shooter to, in a key spot like that, still want to take that shot? And what's that say about Andrew Meadow?
Well, that's the confidence that's built all season long or your entire career with the coaching staff. When you have situations like that where you go 1 for 8, I guarantee you every time there was a timeout or a huddle, someone was telling him that you better shoot the next one. This is what you do. You better shoot that next one. And when the next one came, it was what didn't get talked about too was the play that he made directly before he shot that ball. His ball fake. He caught it, ball fake to the corner, and that just took a defender, all the way out of his view, left him wide open, and then hit the biggest shot probably of his career right now.
Unbelievable. And that's kind of what March is about, right? Just stars and different guys stepping up. Now, Nick Clifford, obviously the storyline today for Colorado State, 36 points in the last meeting. Not a lot of turnaround, not a lot of time, quick turnaround, but what do you think the defensive game plan needs to be to try to slow down Nick Clifford?
It's so hard because when you stop his initial move, he's really good at making his secondary move. He drives to the hoop and you cut that off, and then you make him take a fadeaway on the baseline. That's a good defensive effort. You stopped his momentum and made him go away from the hoop, but though his length, the way he can get off the ground with his vertical, he just creates so much space. It's almost a wide open look every time. So it's one of those things I think you just got to get the ball out of his hands and, maybe run a double team at him or maybe do a deny situation that we saw San Diego State do with Al Cardenas. Just make him work a little bit harder before he has an opportunity to get the ball and then do something offensively.
But he's not their only weapon. I mean, they got some other guys certainly that have played well in this tournament and this season.
They do. I mean, they got a big guy inside in Bemba who's a big body and has shown that he can score inside. And then the guards in Evans and Lake can knock down threes. Of course, Lake is the guy who hit the game winner at Fort Collins during the regular season against the Broncos. So, I mean, Nick Clifford has a ton of assists too. And when you have a ton of assists, it means your other guys are pretty good at knocking down shots, just like Al Cardenas' assists. So they're a very good team, but I also think they have a player on the team that can take over a game like we saw in Boise. And really, these first 2 tournament games too. I mean, he's had amazing stat lines.
He's Abe Jackson. My name is BJ Rains. We're getting you set for Boise State and Colorado State in the, sounds pretty good to say it, Abe, the championship game of the Mountain West tournament. And I'm trying to remember back to your history, Abe, here. I'm sorry that I don't remember, but how did you guys fare in the conference tournaments? Did you ever? We
made it to the championship my senior year, and we lost to New Mexico State. We beat them twice in the regular season and then lost. And then sophomore, junior, and senior year, won a game or 2, but not to the championship again.
Knowing, I mean, I would assume Boise State, maybe they're going to get in, whatever, but I mean, just the mindset of probably, leave no doubt, win this game to get in. Colorado State's in the same boat. They know they're not getting in if they don't win.
Well,
so,
I think they're in even a smaller boat.
Yes.
They are in a boat, but I mean, they're not even really on the radar right now with a loss at all. At least Boise State would still be in somewhat of a conversation. But we're right back to where we were over the last 8 games, that the Broncos need a win to stay on pace for that NCAA bid, and just take it out of the committee's hands and just get a win. You're not going to Dayton, and you'll have a championship.
What's that feeling like, though, as a player? I mean, you play all these games, all these morning workouts, everything for a game like this.
It's for a game like this and for moments like this and for individual singular moments in games like we saw against New Mexico. I mean, you play that entire game and it comes down to a couple plays, the great execution on the inbounds and then the Meadow 3 and then the nice defense as well toward the end, making some difficult shots. So so many plays in a game, but it just comes down to when a play needs to be made in a certain situation, can you make that play? Against San Diego State, against New Mexico, the Broncos have done that.
And it would seem like one of those ones, just take it media to media, right? Just small stretches. You may get down, but win the next 4. I mean, just like as Leon has said, the game's not won or lost in the first half, but you obviously don't want to get down big. It would be a different recipe. It'd be nice if the Broncos weren't down, 5 or 6 at halftime tonight.
I mean, it's ended up in wins, but man, maybe up 5 or 6 would be nice to go in there and then have that same type of second half, and then you come out with a double-digit win.
I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. I mean, for you as a guy that's called these games, played for this. The swing here, win or loss. I mean, it's either maybe coming back to Vegas for a secondary tournament you don't want to be in, or getting a chance to go to the big dance. And we talked about it, but for Al, for Tyson, I mean, I've used the word destiny. It just seems like this team just deserves a win today.
It does. It really does. I mean, Al has put so much time into college basketball and in the Mountain West, and 3 seasons of not very many wins at San Jose State, and then finally just getting the feeling of winning on a constant basis. I think it's such a good feeling as a player in really any sport. And then Tyson Degenhart, he's one of those guys that you appreciate him now, right? You really appreciate him. But how many times over the next few years do you think that the fans will be saying, like, remember when Tyson did that? Remember when Tyson did this? And it'll be, as the years go on, I think more and more appreciation will be there for Tyson Degenhart.
Well, Abe, what are your kind of final keys, thoughts, and your final getting us set for this one?
Well, I think just keep the energy that you've had. I mean, keep the tenacity on the boards and on the defense. They're not calling a lot of fouls. There's a lot of bodying going on at the guards and in the drive. So keep doing exactly what you're doing there, and then somehow either make it hard for Clifford to get the ball originally, kind of like San Diego State did with Cardenas, just deny all the time, or when he gets it and he's starting to do a move, throw a double team at him, make him find somebody else, and then kind of adjust from there.
Well, Abe, appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on, and hopefully there's a reason to try to make it work post-game here.
Yeah, I'd like that.
And then let's do it again Thursday in Denver or Seattle or something.
Denver, Seattle would be nice.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thanks. There he is, the great Abe Jackson. Appreciate him for jumping on the pregame show today. I am double dipping, by the way. We got my son's Little League game on, so if you see me glancing down, I am watching the 10U MYB squad here. My son's playing baseball today, so we are keeping a little bit of an eye on that as well. But the Broncos have taken the floor, as you see. We're getting you set for Boise State and Colorado State in the championship game of the Mountain West tournament. Thank a few more of our sponsors here real quick. We may get a rare special appearance here from the great Jay Tust momentarily. John Mallory is waiting in the wings back in Boise as well to pop on. But Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, thespateam.com. Check them out. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team, whether it's a sauna, a spa, whether it's a pool table for the game, or they got you covered. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Travis Hawks, I know he's fired up for this one today. The blueandorange.store.com. Check them out online. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorange.store.com. Whether you're in the area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor next to Pro Image, or if you're online, you can get it anywhere in the world, theblueandorange.store.com. They got some great gear, bumper stickers, car flags, coaches, sideline apparel, you name it, they got you covered at the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. They got to get rid of those 2024 models to make room for the 25. So some great specials right now. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can view their full inventory of vehicles online at LithiaFordBoise.com. We appreciate Jim Sturk and Company, LithiaFordBoise.com. And Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. We'll be picking a Bauscher Real Estate player of the game after this one. Matt Bauscher, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. You can check him out online at Bauscher Real Estate, BauscherRealEstate.com. When you buy or sell a home with Matt and his team, you get to meet everybody in the picture there because of how the customer service is unmatched. And we appreciate Matt. I know he's here with his family. He's fired up for today. Bauscher Real Estate, BauscherRealEstate.com is the website for Matt Bauscher and his team. All right, we bring in Jay Tust, sports director over at KTVB, for a couple quick minutes here. Jay, we knew, people were wondering how much underwear you brought on this trip. You're getting to use the full allotment today for Championship Saturday. But man, not much better. And who would have thought, certainly in October going into the season, you thought this was possible, but maybe a month ago, not as many did. But here we are, Championship Saturday. Boise State, as you see, warming up here to play in about an hour for a title.
Yeah, real quick, by the way, I know you pointed this out. I was going to do it if you didn't. Yeah, we got the ultimate dad here again. Live streaming a game while live streaming.
My kids
pregame
struck out
show.
looking the first at bat, so I'm not exactly in a great mood right now. But swing the bat, come on.
Oh goodness, Boise State's been swinging the bat down here.
Yes, they have, man.
Yeah, they haven't watched anything go by. They have been taking advantage of everything
Nice segue.
everything that's came over the plate, right? And now they get a chance at another team that they were 0-2 against during the regular season. They beat San Diego State 0-2 during the regular season, and now they could redeem those losses in the Mountain West Conference tournament, which, quite frankly, at this point in time, it means more. You know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, BJ. Everybody said that, you know, Boise State had they beat Colorado State on senior night that they're in the field. Well, I mean, how that probably is the case, but I don't know how it's that much different because they're on the big stage. They're the second to last team, or one of two teams in the Mountain West Conference that are still standing. Joe Lunardi has them in the field of 68 at the moment, the last team in the field. A win would be massive because, as you've already mentioned, that controls their own destiny. I just think this team deserves to go to the NCAA tournament. 24 wins.
Yeah. I think they deserve it, but I don't think they will. I think they got to win today, man.
I think they got to win today too, unfortunately.
And you throw in what it means with both teams too. I mean, I can't remember a Mountain West championship game, Jay, where both teams. I mean, usually at least one of the teams knows they're in no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever been one in a long time where we're talking about, you know, Boise State thinking they need to win. I mean, Colorado State's even in a bigger boat where they know they've got to win today. I mean, both teams going to be going just all at it here today.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right on that one. Both teams fighting for a chance to go dancing, if you will. You know, I don't know, man. You've been sitting courtside, side by side these last two games, and I just think this team looks so determined right now.
Yeah,
Tyson Degenhardt said it after the game. There's no way that they're going to lose that game, and I personally feel the same way about this game. I think they can't wait to have another crack at Colorado State, especially the way that senior night went at Extra Mile Arena.
So, what is the game plan you think, or what would you try to do to slow down Nick Clifford here?
It's a great question. I think that you take a little bit of element from the first two games.
Let's show him, by the way, for folks that are there's.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's in the way, but there he is, dribbling the ball right there as the band's getting ready to go as well. But Nick Clifford, how do they slow? 36 points last time they played. He's dribbling the basketball behind this dude.
Yeah, 36 points, barely missed any shots. I just think that you got to be the more physical team again today, and it starts on defense. Colorado State has been outstanding on offensively lately. They've been absolutely cooking. Nick Clifford is a fantastic player. Hopefully he mishandles the ball like he did right there. What a great matchup,
that
though.
36 points, though, Jay. I mean, I haven't seen it. I know the stats say one thing, whatever, but I don't remember a guy doing that to Boise State very often. That was an
no, it wasn't.
And we were there at the end of the game. And I think you were with me when we talked to him briefly after the game. Seems like a pretty good dude too.
He does.
But that was as impressive as a visiting player performance as I've seen in a long time.
I agree with you, and seems like a great kid. It just is what it is. He seems like a great kid, but I don't know. I look at this and I just see that, man, Tyson Degenhardt deserves this. He deserves everything that's coming his way right now, man. Everything that's coming his way. And what I was going to say earlier, I was walking out of the building last night, and Boise State had all these preseason expectations, right? Win the Mountain West tournament, win the Mountain West. They got the preseason player of the year in Tyson Degenhardt. And technically, when the awards came out, they went 0 for 2. But you know what? They got a chance to achieve both of those tonight. The preseason team of the year might secure the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament tonight. They have the chance to do that. The preseason player of the year, if Boise State wins, likely is going to be the player of this tournament. And yes, the regular season awards are phenomenal. And, when it comes to press releases or plaques or whatever it might be, those are the ones that get the attention. But this is the one you want, because if you get this one, you are absolutely positively going to the NCAA tournament and creating history, might I add, too, BJ. Boise State's only won this thing one time in the Leon Rice era, and they have a chance to go 2 for 2 today. They've only made it here one time, and they won it.
Could be 2 and 4 years here, too, for a program that a lot of folks say, can't win in March and underachieve here. I mean, I thought last night's win, Jay Tuss, was I'll say it, one of the best wins of the Leon Rice era. I mean, I know maybe it wasn't the highest ranked win, but we were in this building. We heard the crowd. We saw some of the calls. We saw what they were working against. And I mean, they were just taking haymakers left and right. And for them, Hey, there he is.
Leon Rice,
Coach
everybody.
Rice giving Bronco Nation a happy. There we go.
Go get him today, Coach.
Yeah, there you go. Coach Rice giving us a right as we were complimenting Coach Leon Rice. There you go. He said, "Welcome to the Mountain West Championship game."
We're here.
I should have tried to give him the headset. Maybe we would have got it.
I was going to take mine off, and he walked away because
you might have had a better chance than me. But yeah, that's Leon Rice for you, right as we're talking about him. But Jay, everything that was on the line last night, I know it wasn't the highest ranked win or whatever you want to call it, but that's one of the best wins of the Leon Rice era, given everything at stake, in my opinion. And he's got a chance today, Jay, to take another step forward, I think, in terms of a legacy here and his history. And he doesn't need it, but for the 0.1% fans that he's still trying to win over, today's a really big day.
I'm ready to see this team, their determination, not only in today's ball game, but in the NCAA tournament. I really do think that they've just played with an attitude these last couple of games that makes a massive difference. And so many guys are impacting it, and foul trouble doesn't matter. And one thing I kind of like about what happened yesterday, BJ, there were 4 guys in foul trouble, but you know what? Leon kept playing them, and they all had to play through foul trouble. And I think that there's times at this season where maybe they shy away from that a little bit because they're worried about foul trouble. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody fouled out yesterday. So You know what? Don't take them home with you. Don't take the fouls home with you.
And they were with Tyson in particular. They pulled him out for a very short spurt. But that Tyson Degenhardt. That was. I am curious how they call it today. And it's going to be some combination probably of the 6 refs in the 2 semifinal games. I'm guessing your boy Vern Harris is back on the game today.
Vern's back.
Mike Reed. I'm hopefully not Mike Littlewood though. That was a tough call there on Omar Stanley. On Emmanuel Ugbo on the dunk.
Yeah, that was. I'm looking up. Have you looked up Torvik's today? Torvik's numbers today, the daycast?
I have not.
Looking it up right now. So with a win, Bart Torvik is suggesting that Boise State would have honestly, I guess that doesn't matter. I was looking it up, and I guess it does, because with the win, they're in.
Yeah. We need a loss. What's he got with the loss?
It's down to 36%. So I guess that's the number that matters. With a loss, it would be 36%. So he's got him outside.
And it's 100 chance with a win.
And it's 100% chance with a win, although he doesn't have that. But, yeah.
Jay, you got any final thoughts here, man? Just your boy John Mallory here is waiting in the wings to join us. You can see him there in his studio.
Johnny Ball game.
Any just being here, man, courtside. I did get the word, Jay, that the entire traveling party of the team is also on our flight tonight.
No kidding.
So that could be a fun. This is
going to be insane.
If they win this game,
game tips off at 4:00 Mountain Time. I'll operate in the Mountain Time zone.
Yes,
it's going to get over right around 6:30. We got a flight at 9:40.
Well, so we have a net cutting ceremony. Hopefully,
so the game wraps up about 6:30. Yeah, got to cut down some nets. Got to do post-game interviews. Got to take a look live for the 10. Got to return the rental car and somehow make it to the airport in time for that bird to start flapping its wings back towards Boise at 9:40.
Now, I will say that the flight a couple years ago, the team was not on it, but it was, you had President Marlene Trump, Jeremiah Dickey. You had, Bob Beeler. You had a lot of kind of dignitaries, I guess. But
they'll hold the flight for us.
The team itself was not on it, but it was one of the funner flights I've been on. I got the internet working, Jay, and I went on my YouTube TV to rewatch the game. I was sitting on the aisle. And I turn around, and there's about 10 people also on the aisle wanting to also rewatch the game on the way back. And so could be a quiet, not as fun of a fight if they lose. But if they win this game, man, it's going to be a party all the way back to Boise.
Yeah. I mean, you asked me thoughts on the game. Beat these guys up. Do what you've done these last 2 games. Be the more physical team. And I think we've seen in these last 2 games, these last 2 nights, BJ, that 8-minute mark in the second half is about the breaking point for the opponent. Both against San Diego State and hopefully Colorado State, but against San Diego State and New Mexico, those final 8 minutes were pretty much dominated by Boise State. They went on a nice run to put those games away, not comfortably, I guess, but just put those games away. So be the more physical team, beat these guys up and start to break them. And then you'll go to the NCAA tournament. And can't wait to watch Tyson Degenhardt, Alvaro Cardenas, though, today. They're going to be ready for this moment, and a big shot from Andrew Meadow at some point in time, and we'll see who rises to the occasion off the bench. I think RJ Keene's effort and attitude is important almost as anything tonight.
And at this point, doesn't matter the point spread, doesn't matter the matchup.
Win by 1.
It's like, but I mean, it's hard to
win
pick
by half a point.
It's hard to pick against them at this point.
No, it is. What I saw the last two games, I think they're going to be ready, and I think they're going to play with an edge today that's going to help them get a win.
Jay, enjoy the game. Looking forward to sitting courtside with you. Did you get my text, by the way? on your way to the arena, I said if you happen to stop for energy drinks, I would take one. I'm guessing that's a no. All right.
Ooh.
All right.
Hold up.
Uh-oh, you might have one.
Hold up.
Even
I don't know if it's
save
gonna be,
it. Save it if it's not an extra. Save it.
No. It's not going to be your. It's not going to be your flavor.
Well,
but
then I'm not.
They didn't have my flavor either. So I.
By the way, if you look at the crowd here, Jay, they switched the benches for some reason. But most of the Boise State fans are going to be sitting right behind the Colorado State bench.
I got used to sitting in our other seats.
I know. What do you make of that?
I don't know.
Any words for Johnny Ballgame on the way out here?
No, but I believe Johnny. I'm a baseball guy, right, Johnny? You know that. And I believe in good karma, good juju. If something's working, you don't deter from that, right? So I'm rocking the Jordan 3 Royal Blues again today.
What do we got? All right.
I'm going Jordan 3 Royal Blues. Wore them the last 3 days. I brought another pair, but I'm not mixing it up at this point in time. So they've been lucky. Call my quad 1 shoes.
There you go.
They'll get a victory today.
So we'll see those Thursday in Denver then.
Let's do it.
All right. Appreciate it, Jay.
Love
Jay
your ball
Tuss.
game.
Appreciate it, Jay, for jumping on. We go from one legend to another in the sports media industry here in Boise. Our man, Johnny Ballgame, joins us. Johnny, you see a live look here. I'll put the court center screen here as the Broncos are warming up. And who would have thought it a month ago? KTIK is talking about Leon Rice fatigue. They're ready to move. Fans are ready to move on. And now here they are playing for a Mountain West championship today. How you doing, Johnny Ballgame?
Doing really well, BJ. What a day this is, right? Saturday championship week. There's 22 conference tournament games. I think 10 have finished or tipped, so we still have half the schedule. So even for me, sadly, not in Vegas with you guys here, just in my office with all these games going on. I mean, what a blast this is. And obviously the highlight is 4 p.m. Mountain Time with Boise State and Colorado State. Colorado State has not won this tournament since 2003, BJ. Boise State won this tournament in 2022, I believe, and it has that small conference feel to it. I heard you and Jay talking about it. I agree. You know, the loser of this game, I would lean towards probably doesn't get in. And with Colorado State, it's like, they won't get in. Boise State, you'll still watch Selection Sunday, but I don't know how optimistic you'll be. So you get that extra whatever it is with these two teams saying, okay, the winner gets to keep their season alive. And you know how it is in college basketball. If you go to the tournament, those are the teams that they remember throughout the years of college basketball. And certainly Boise State, if they can make this 4 in a row and 2 of that 4, like Bob Beeler said, the bookend of Tyson, if Tyson can win this tournament his freshman year, and then his senior year as well, with a couple of at-large trips in the middle. Man, what a legend, dude.
Boise State warming up. We're 47 minutes from tip-off here. Boise State and Colorado State for the Mountain West Championship. And you mentioned it, Johnny. Tyson Degenhart, kind of quietly last night. I think because it was tournament play and because the storyline was the second half and the win, but setting the record, the all-time leading scorer at Boise State, man. And now I think he's pushing towards 2,000 points. Can he get to 2,000? He's about 50 away or so. If they can win today and get another game or two here in the postseason, maybe he has a chance at 2,000 points for his career. But certainly now number 1 on that list. And Johnny, they're probably going to need another big game from Tyson here tonight.
Tanaka Beard is in his early 50s, maybe mid 50s right now. I wonder if Tyson is going to be older or younger than Tanaka is now when he goes through someone tracking down that record. BJ, you talked about the landscape, and I know they might add a 5th year. So in the future, everybody will get to play 5 full years. You'll still, I don't know, have a medical red shirt but who stays at a school that long? At Boise State, I think Tyson Degenhart might have this record for like the rest of his life. I mean, it'd be fun to see somebody else track it down, but you do the math. You know the landscape, BJ. Someone's going to come here and average 15 a night for 4 straight years. That's really difficult to do, but they needed him. And yeah, last night, I think that was the best Boise State game I've seen that Max wasn't a part of, right? Legendary game. It didn't have that Max takeover, but overall team win. You saw that last night. I think it was one of the 3 biggest wins Leon Rice has ever had at Boise State. BJ, they needed it. You just want to, do you like the outfield? the group, I don't want to lose your love tonight. It's like the fans and everybody, they just didn't want to lose the love last night and not have a chance to go to the tournament. And they saved it. They got a big win, obviously, against a team that is going to the tournament, a good team. And I think they did it the right way. I think they played the way they wanted to, even though they didn't shoot quite as well, maybe as they wanted to. I still think they're going to shoot better today.
Johnny,
should I try to
get Marlene Trump to do an interview here? Should I see if she'll say anything?
Yeah, you can dish me if you get Trump on. I don't want to be part of this.
Here. There's President Trump right there. We got to put her full screen for a second so she can wave. There we go. There's your president. Should be a fun one today. We're looking forward to it. She said, "Let's go Broncos." There you go, President.
Don't
Marlene
let her read
Trump.
the comments. Don't let her read the.
She's excited. She's got her blue on. She's hoping she's busy tomorrow going to a watch party, right, Johnny?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully they get this, BJ. I feel real confident about this one. I just think, and I know Colorado State swept Boise State. We all know that. If you watched both games, cool, yeah, they swept Boise State. I still think Boise State is a better basketball team, though. And typically for me on a neutral site, barring any type of outside noise, which we should get into, I think the better team typically wins on neutral sites. So for me, I'll go with Boise State on this. And the Fort Collins game, you were there. The rock bottom defensive breakdown. That's why they lost that game. At Extra Mile, you were there. They had 2 different 10-point leads and 100% respect to Neek Clifford. He's a legend in that program. He took over that game. That was a game Colorado State had to win, and they got it. And I'll tip my cap to Neek Clifford, but I would bet against Neek Clifford having the first or second best game of his career today against Boise State. And if he does, Colorado State probably wins, and I will tip my cap again and say, dude, you're a badass. But I don't think he's going to have quite that number. And I think Boise State's playing extremely fresh right now. What Tust was saying, I just think they're playing in a sense, even though it might not be the case, with house money. There's a Vegas term there for you, BJ. And honestly, I have Boise State. Maybe they don't want to hear this, but I have Boise State winning this kind of comfortably, 7-13 points. I think they're the better team. They're going to win today. And honestly, I think the outside distractions within Colorado State Ram basketball right now is a massive situation, in my opinion. Kids read stuff. They know.
Yeah, and you're talking about Nico Medved. By the way, a live look at the crowd here. Johnny, kind of interesting here. They've switched the benches up. So many of the Boise State fans, they're going to be sitting right behind the Colorado State bench over there to the left. There's going to be a small portion of Boise State fans. Looks like the comp tickets, the players' parents' tickets, are over there on the right side. You see Tyson Degenhardt's parents. There's RJ Keene's dad right over there as well. So there's going to be some Boise State fans. I will say right now, looks like Boise State has a little bit of an edge, but Colorado State's got a lot of fans to the left behind the basket here. But either way, Johnny, this is not going to be nearly the one-sided atmosphere as it was for that game yesterday. We got to get off of here fairly soon. Johnny, any just final thoughts? You mentioned Nico Medved. Reports out there he may be going to Minnesota. I don't think a huge surprise to Mountain West fans or even Colorado State fans, but just what do you make of the Nico Medved situation, how that plays into the game today? And both teams, man, both teams have to win this game to get to the big dance. I can't remember a Mountain West tournament, Johnny, where both teams had to win to get in. Usually one knows they kind of have a spot wrapped up, but just your take on the magnitude of this one here today, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. That's what gives this that one bid league feel, which I think is really sweet. And I know it's the nature of the business, a business that I make my living from, BJ, but I hate that stuff leaks in times like this. Those kids, you don't think the Colorado State Hoopers have been on their cell phone within the last 4 hours? Of course they have. Their parents have. Everybody has. And all of a sudden they find out their coach is leaving. And you're right, it was not a secret, BJ. You had that story 2 months ago. I mean, everybody knew Nico was leaving. And I'll say this, BJ. What? You shaking your head?
No, there's a 5-minute slide. Me and Jay got a flight to catch tonight, and they just sent us the little thing saying that the game is pushed back 5 more minutes. So not exactly what we're looking
BJ was shaking his head at me, you guys, in the back screen, like I was saying something completely ridiculous, because I could tell he was pissed off at something. And now I know the person just came up to him and said his flight's been delayed. I love it, BJ. But
no, the flight's not delayed. The game is delayed, which might make the turnaround time a little closer to my flight. Yes.
Gotcha, man. But I'm not sure where exactly we were on this, but the Nico Medved thing, it wasn't a very well kept secret, but I hate that it comes out like today, And honestly, dude, I think I would guess that there's going to be some effect, and if there isn't, then man, Colorado State is a well put together team, and Nick Clifford deserves all of this. And for them to win this game, Colorado State, with any distraction there, and I just don't think they're as good a team as Boise State. So I think that'd be a big win for them if they can beat a team like Boise State on a neutral site. So I got Boise State by 7-13. I think it's kind of comfortable for the Broncos, and I think they'll shoot better than they have the previous two games. When Boise State, when they're looser, they shoot way better. This team has weird self-esteem stuff, man. Like they let the confidence, and I don't think this team has any self-esteem issues right now. I think they're playing really, really well. And unless Nick Clifford's going to have the best or the second best night of his career again, then I like Boise State's chances. If Nick Clifford does that, then tip of the cap, and get ready for the Crown tournament or the NIT, or maybe BJ another trip to Dayton.
Well, Johnny, we appreciate you for jumping on. I hope I see you tomorrow. I hope there's some sort of watch party. If they win today, I hope I see you tomorrow for a watch party for Selection Sunday if Boise State's getting in. But enjoy the game, Johnny, and we appreciate you as always for jumping on, man. We'll be listening Monday, 3 o'clock with you and Mike Prater breaking everything down, man. Thanks a lot.
Love ya.
There he is, the great Johnny Ballgame. We appreciate him for jumping on. I know his internet was a little spotty there, but we appreciate him for his pregame thoughts. You see Boise State warming up on the court, wearing the blue uniforms for the third straight time today. They've been the underseeded team all three games. They will have beaten the number 4 seed, the number 1 seed, and the number 2 seeds. They will be beating 3 of the top 4 teams in this league if they're able to get the win today and become the Mountain West champions. And everything on the line tonight, folks. We got Matthew saying, I'm so excited for this game. We got Eric saying it's going to be so much fun. We got some other comments coming in here as Colorado State takes the floor to some applause from their fans. Keene was literally bleeding out on the court. Yes, he was. Boise State cannot afford to get into foul trouble today. I agree with that. Jeremy Brown says his keys are Boise State staying out of foul trouble, Buchanan scoring 10-plus points. I am 6 foot. 6-0, 6 foot is the let's see what else we got here. Hey, sit right here. I think that's going to be John. Let's see what we got here. Will Leon start Ugbo after last night? I don't think so. I think you stay with Stanley today. Let's see what else we got. We got Mr. Buchanan watching. He says, proud dad watching. Let's see what else we got. Andrew Meadow masterclass today. We got folks saying Andrew Meadow is going to have a big game. Let's thank a couple more quick sponsors here. We want to appreciate everybody for making this show possible, including Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com, locations across the Treasure Valley, the Magic Valley, all over the state of Idaho. ShopRidleys.com. View their stores and locations at ShopRidleys.com. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line at ShopRidleys.com. Transportation Compliance Service. TranscomService.com and get into the trucking industry. TranscomService.com. Every step of the way, they can help you out to get into the trucking industry at TranscomService.com. Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com is the website. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Healthy eating options. 10,000 plus, to be honest. 10,000 plus healthy eating options at Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Chicken, steak, shrimp, fish, you name it. They got you covered at LeanFeastMeridian.com. And leave us a voicemail, You feeling good about this one after the game? Let us know. Celebrate with us on the speakpipe.com/BNN Signature Roofing voice inbox line. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on an upcoming show, and it's brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, an estimate, they got you covered. MySignatureRoofing.com is the website. MySignatureRoofing.com. We bring you back a live look inside the Thomas and Mack Center here in Las Vegas as we get you set for Boise State, Colorado State. And there he is, Nick Clifford, 36 points in the first meeting against Boise State. He's right there, center of your screen stretching, and we'll see what he can do in this one, obviously, as Boise State tries to slow him a little bit and get the big win here today. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. We'll check a couple more quick comments here before we get to the game. Let's see here. Would love to have some 3-pointers drop today. What else we got? Loving the sport coat. Yeah, two games. I brought 2 sport coats today, so looking forward to someone commented yesterday they liked my sport coat. So 2 sport coats. Appreciate that. Love ball game. Not sure how AG is, but he's definitely cheesy. Broncos by 10. We have the depth. Let's see what else we got. Keith Clifford under 25 and Boise State wins. I like that. Hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got to get off the air, though. The CBS rules don't allow us to be on the broadcast any longer. So enjoy the game. Appreciate you guys. It'll be a fun one. We're going to have the full post-game show right after the game. We'll have the neck cutting ceremony, all that stuff. Follow us on social media, and then we'll get the post-game show going probably 30 to 40 minutes when the game ends. And we'll have you covered on the post-game show. Interviews, highlights, all kinds of great stuff. You can do that again on the Bronco Nation News YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. Enjoy the game, everybody. The Mountain West Championship coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you afterwards. Bronco Nation News live, BroncoNationNews.com.
If you think I'm pretty, lay your hands on me. No, you can't stop thinking about it. I know that you're shitty and you're bad for me, but I can't stop thinking about it. If you think I'm pretty, lay your hands on me. No, you can't stop thinking about it. I know that you're shitty and you're bad for me, but I can't stop thinking about it.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.